YouTube, what is going on with y'all? For those of y'all that are new here, I go by Ishyabui. For those of y'all that aren't new, thank you for coming back. And today we got something a little new on the channel, but it's something that I've been wanting to get into for a real long time with this channel. And it's some death battles, bro. Now, some of y'all may know what the death battle is, coming from the Death Battle channel. You know what I'm saying? Some of y'all may know. Some of y'all may not know. For those of y'all that don't know, basically it's a what if matchup. You know what I'm saying? What if this superhero and this superhero faced off against each other? What if this villain and this villain? So on and so forth, right? And today we got Ghost Rider versus Spawn. Now, for those of y'all that know me personally, or just know me to this certain extent, one of my favorite comic book characters is Ghost Rider. He's like he just a cool dude, bro. Spawn not too far like down that list, but you know what I'm saying. Ghost Rider, hey, Nicolas Cage, you put me on. Promise you did. But anyways, we gonna check out this matchup. And before we get into everything, go ahead and leave a like on the video, check the description for all my socials, and leave a comment and let me know who y'all think was going to win this matchup before y'all watch the rest of this video.
Ghost Rider versus Spawn.
The Spirit of Vengeance versus the Dark Angel of Armageddon.
He's Wiz and I'm Boomstick.
And it's our job to analyze
Well,
their weapons,
it's been
armor,
a long
and
time
skills
since
to find
I've
out
seen
who would
these
win
boys, man.
a death battle. Johnny Blaze has always been a man possessed, chasing the thrill of certain doom by performing death-defying stunts, following the example of his adoptive father, Crash Simpson.
Until the day Crash lived up to his name and got cancer. Heartbroken and without enough Wampa fruit to save him, Johnny turned to the only thing that could. Chemotherapy.
The devil.
Oh!
To cure Crash's cancer, Johnny sold his soul to Mephisto, king of the 8th layer of hell.
Only for Crash to actually live up to his name right after.
But instead of scooping up Johnny's soul, Mephisto had something else in mind. He bound Johnny to an instrument of divine wrath, Zarathos, the Spirit of Vengeance.
So Johnny Blaze lived up to his name and
I'm
burst
telling you,
into hellfire.
that movie put me on. But that's like, with the whole kind of backstory pretty much explained with Ghost Rider, that's the only thing that I didn't mess with. Yeah. Johnny Blaze should have known what he was doing. He did all that thinking that he was gonna come out on top of that deal. Like he was gonna get everything that he wanted and nothing of what he didn't. Come on now. Even from a logical standpoint, you know better.
An undead skeleton biker.
I get you desperate, but not that desperate.
The 5th scariest Nick Cage performance. The stuntman from hell. He called himself the Daredevil.
Sorry, Johnny, that name's taken.
Okay, then how about the Ghost Rider?
Sure, we definitely didn't forget that we named the character the same thing only 5 years earlier. All you.
The Ghost Rider was bad news for Earth sinners and scumbags. He's strong enough to pull down skyscrapers, blow up mountains, and cause earthquakes that can be felt
6'2",
across whole countries.
Don't even think about fighting back. He can remake his whole body from the hellfire that engulfs him, making him immune to all physical damage. Only holy weapons that target his soul can harm him.
It's not just his body. His whole arsenal is hellfire. Ghosty can create anything he can think of, from an infinite stream of chains, a shotgun packed with fiery rounds, or a flaming missile barfed right out of his mouth.
You see how OP this dude is, bro? You see how OP this man is? Personally, I don't know if Spawn got it. Now, considering the fact that they both like afterlife realm creatures, you know what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure Spawn got something in his bag for that. But like, All of this?
life goals, and he can
They gonna have to
imbue
show me
other
something.
objects with hellfire, such as his hell cycle.
Oh, this badass bike can outpace Thor's hammer Mjolnir, which can cross the universe in seconds.
Hellfire is a weapon in and of itself, whether shot out of his hands, raining down from the sky, or released from his...
His boner, Wiz.
Oh, nah.
Get it?
Freak behind boy.
And it doesn't just scorch flesh. Hellfire is so deadly, it can burn away your very soul.
This technique would be mastered by Johnny's successor, his own brother, Danny Ketch.
Oh yeah, Johnny's not the only Ghost Rider, and Danny was the first to master their most famous move. You know, the one that burns your soul to smithereens with just a look? The Penance Stare.
The
Okay.
penance stare
I didn't
inflicts
even know
upon its
Johnny Blaze had a
victims
brother.
every ounce of pain they ever wreaked upon others. Every cruelty, no matter how small or righteous, is reflected back. A biblical punishment.
Obliterating your soul. It even works on other Ghost Riders, like when Johnny and Danny got into a staring contest and Danny actually depowered Johnny.
Eyes are windows to the soul, so the Ghost Rider must be able to match his victim's gaze for the penance stare to work. Some people have survived it, like the Punisher supposedly because he didn't regret his actions, but it did work on him on other occasions.
Well, Johnny can adjust how deadly
Okay.
it is, and it doesn't necessarily have to kill you. He can use the stare to read minds, force you to confess info, or just show you the error of your ways.
Remember, the Ghost Rider is two souls in one body, with the kinder Johnny battling the demon Zarathos in a war of control.
Classic Faustian bargain. All the power in the world, but if you want it, it uses you. Because if Johnny gives in, the demon's full might will take over, and then everything is screwed.
Zarathos'
Right.
strength is boundless. He can open up portals between dimensions, control the elements, penance stare an entire city, and fly all the way to Asgard, which is a literal infinite distance away.
He's manhandled some of Marvel's heaviest hitters, like Thor, World War Hulk, and Doctor Strange. Hell, Strange said Zarathos is a threat to all realms, mortal and immortal.
And you expect me to not take the side of someone that has this in his arsenal? Now I understand it ain't Johnny, but if he lets Zarathos loose, like, come on, bruh.
Hyperbole? Think again. The Archangel Zadkiel said that the power of the Ghost Rider could threaten all of existence, and even bring down heaven itself.
Right before an army of Ghost Riders did just that. Yeah, an army. The spirits of vengeance are legion.
As far back as the Great Flood, humans have been bonded to the vestiges of God's power to act as his divine wrath on Earth. A sort of heavenly black ops.
Okay, wait, does that make Zarathos an angel now? Or is he still a demon?
Both? Neither? Despite being one of the greatest entities in existence, it's unclear. What we do know is that ages ago, Zarathos feasted on souls and battled Mephisto for rulership of his realm. Mephisto, ever the trickster, claimed victory and gained control of Zarathos forevermore. Hence how he could bond him to Johnny.
But Zarathos got his revenge against that big red bitch with another Ghost Rider, Alejandra Jones. Bet you wish you had one more day to fix that hole in your chest, huh?
There's a
Comic book
female
fan
Ghost
punching
Rider?
bag though he may be, Mephisto is unbelievably powerful. A battle with him could cause omniversal Armageddon, fitting as his fight with Galactus rents the cosmos asunder.
And Galactus' fights can destroy all of Marvel's infinite multiverse. That's the kind of awesome power at Zarathos' disposal. Total cosmic annihilation.
Once again, you expect me to pick the other side when this side has this? They gonna have to show me something, or else this death battle seemed pointless.
So it was no surprise when Johnny went down to the underworld and took Hell's throne for himself, usurping the devil that ruined his life and finally grabbing destiny by the handlebars.
Scoring the total power of hell itself, plus a sick-ass upgrade, the Damnation Stare, which skips the whole every pain you've ever inflicted thing and just sends you straight to hell. No shot.
As they say though, uneasy lies the head that wears the crown.
Golly.
Johnny began an obsessive crusade to capture all of Hell's escaped demons. But by using his new power to damn them to hell, he began absorbing their evil, feeding off of it, and it corrupted him. Once again, Johnny Blaze was a man possessed.
In truth, Johnny was just as trapped by Hell's power as he'd always been, and he needed Danny's help to pull him out of the darkness.
Though he gave up Hell's throne, the Ghost Rider continues his war against demons without and within, mentoring his fellow Ghost Riders in the ways of vengeance, always prowling the highways for the evil and the profane.
An unstoppable engine of judgment that, with just a glance, could make Galactus himself shit his pants.
Maybe one day he'll find salvation in the eyes of one of his victims.
'Cause they sure as hell won't find any in his. This battle is sponsored
That
by
one
Robin
cooked.
Hood
Present
That one cooked.
for Gold
membership army and this
Simmons.
Hood Gold.
Was one thing, he was a killer.
A lieutenant
There we go.
If Al Simmons was one thing, he was a killer.
A lieutenant colonel in the U.S. Army and the CIA's most decorated assassin, Simmons upheld democracy around the globe at the barrel of a gun, painting the third world in red, white, and blue, but mostly red.
Until his final fateful mission when, per his boss's orders, Al was fired.
The burning was only getting started because Al's immortal soul was on a one-way trip to hell.
Where
Oh,
he
wow.
cut a deal with Malvosia, the big, naked lord of the 8th circle of hell.
By their pact, Simmons would be reborn a Hellspawn, a superpowered commander of Hell's armies, in exchange for seeing his wife one more time.
Oh, buddy, you're just asking to get monkey's bud.
Al Simmons returned from the dead as a decaying zombie 5 years later, after his wife had already remarried and had a daughter.
There, you saw her. Now get back to work, bitch.
5 years later. 5 years later. Nah, I'm sorry. Maybe I'm being selfish. But if I pass before my wife and she get remarried only 5 years later, I mean, like, yeah, you go find happiness, da 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 da. Even if it's not with me, that. Nah, bruh. I mean, like, yes, but like 5 years later, bruh. Think about it. Within, like, he came back to see his wife 5 years later, and when he returned to her, she was already married and they already had a child. So let's just say just for theory, you know what I'm saying? Hypothetically, even if that child was 2 years of age, that means they would have met at least 3 years. They would have met 3 years after you had passed. Which also means, well, theoretically speaking, if they got married before they had the child, that means they would have had been dating before they got married. Which means they only been dating for 3 years. Like, dang, was it that easy to get over me? Like, I ain't do nothing wrong to you. You know what I'm saying? This wasn't an abusive relationship, was it? You feel me? Like, me personally, I would have felt disrespected. Not really, but like I would have been butthurt. I would have been real butthurt. Yeah, that would have hurt my heart.
Thus was born the undead warrior from hell itself, Spawn.
He's so 90s that he comes all the way back around to being the coolest thing ever. Look upon his
6'3", 400, yeah! 400? 6'3", 400? Keep in mind, I was just talking about what's the name being solid at like 220. That's like, you know what I'm saying, 6'2", 220. That's like athletic size, like grown athletic. You know what I'm saying? You don't know if Buddy could have been a shooting guard for the Spurs. You know what I'm saying? A linebacker for the Texans. You know what I'm saying? Like, he could have played it. He could have, you know what I'm saying, made some pro money. You know what I'm saying? But like, who you know 6'3", 400? I'll wait. I'll wait. 6'3", 400? And not like obese? You know, like, I'll shut up. I'll shut up. I'll shut up.
Edge Wizard and Despair.
Spawn would violently defend New York's downtrodden, while slowly uncovering the full breadth of his demonic powers.
He's like a walking superpower encyclopedia. He can fly, teleport, turn invisible and intangible, move things with his mind, make force fields, control the elements and the weather, and even stop time. Speaking of time, he can fly so fast, he literally breaks into other dimensions and smashes time as a concept.
He can
Let me just go back. Just so you can hear exactly what he just said again.
Invisible and intangible, move things with his mind, make force fields, control the elements and the weather, and even stop time. Speaking of time, he can fly so fast, he literally breaks into other dimensions and smashes time as a concept.
He can manipulate matter, shape-shifting his own body or transmuting other objects and people. He can even control and absorb your soul.
Wait, Wiz, if he can rearrange molecules and crap, why doesn't he just fix his uggo face?
Well, he tried to do that, but Malbolgia cursed him so that he could only make himself... yeah.
Oh, it's...
Riders, what y'all on? Riders, what y'all on, bro? What's the point of that? What was the point of that? I want to know. Like you couldn't let that man get back in his melanated skin. You just had to say you don't get nothing. You don't get nothing you want. You just do what we tell you to do, and you don't get nothing. Not a thing. Okay? You know what I'm saying? Be grateful for the little bit that you do get. Even if it's not what you asked for. Not what you wanted at all. Just okay, that's like the penance there. Fair.
He loves his big-ass 90s guns.
Though his greatest weapon is the sentient being he's genetically...
Why y'all ain't tell me why y'all ain't tell me I ain't switched the scenes back? That's my fault. Look at me. That's my fault. I ain't mean to do all that. My bad. Where was we? Be like right here. No. He was like right here.
Yeah.
Oh, it's petty trolling like that that gets you a throne in hell.
To be fair, Spawn can achieve a similar result with illusions and mental manipulation. He can read and control minds, implant and replace memories, or simply drive you mad.
Spawn can do all of this crazy shit because he runs on necroplasm. Basically, hell juice.
You're not wrong. Necroplasm is the energy that makes up hell itself. Al's undead body is composed of 400 pounds of it.
He can wield it like an energy blaster empowered by the sins of others. Spawn can absorb your evil and feed off of it. By simply walking on Earth, Spawn feels all of humanity's pain all at once.
He's even absorbed the sins of 8 million New Yorkers instantly, cleansing them of their evil.
Like Jesus?
Or he can do the reverse and make you experience the full weight of your own sins, feeling every bit of pain you've ever inflicted on others over your whole life.
Like some sort of penance.
The Spawn's necroplasm.
You remember how I said earlier in the video that they was gonna have to show me something? They showing me some. Buddy just as OP as what's her name? As Ghost Rider.
Comes with a catch.
Yeah, he's got unlimited amount of the stuff, and it drains every time he uses his powers. If he runs out, he's dragged back to hell.
Even depowered, Spawn can rely on his elite military training in hand-to-hand combat. He's even fought Batman to a standstill.
And as befits his past profession, he loves his big-ass 90s guns.
Though his greatest weapon is the sentient being he's genetically and spiritually bonded to, his cloak. Letha of the 7th House of K.
You ever wonder why his cape's red? Nope, well, now you are, and it's red because it's made from the apple Eve ate in the Garden of Eden. It's literally made of original sin. Oh, and also the souls of a million sinners, including every one of Hell's victims. Also a touch of vampire for good measure.
K7 Letha is constantly evolving. It can act independently to defend Spawn with an infinite stream of chains, transform into weapons, or drain people of their power. It is the most potent weapon Hell has ever created.
It even helped Spawn beat the primordial dark god Urizen, who can destroy and eat your soul with just a glare.
Except the...
Okay, now I do want to say this. That whole caveat of Spawn having a unlimited amount of necroplasm. I was just about to say that in a battle between him and Ghost Rider, that probably is his biggest downfall. But shoot, if he's just using his cape the entire time, he might be straight. He got enough things to fall back on in order for him to not run out.
Souls bonded to Spawn acted as a buffer, allowing him to survive.
You'd think with an arsenal like that, he'd be unstoppable. But Hellspawns have a weakness to holy weapons and can be killed permanently if decapitated by one.
Though Spawn has managed to survive this in the past. No, Spawn's greatest weakness is his own... how do I put this? Stupidity.
So Spawn fought this angel lady, Angela. Great name for an angel. She had this dimensional lance that could wipe Hellspawn out of existence, and Spawn got it. But instead of, being cautious around a mysterious angel weapon that hurts him, he just had to push the big shiny button and activate it on himself.
And so, Spawn was forever destroyed, until he reconfigured reality to undo his own inexistence.
There we are, good as new. That has to be the first time we've seen someone accidentally kill themselves and survive.
On his quest as Hell's greatest warrior,
I'm not gonna lie, that's sorry. I'm not gonna lie, that sounds real sorry.
Spawn has defeated a serial killer ice cream man, a demonic clown, and even his old boss remade by Heaven into an anti-Spawn. He's even encountered other Hellspawn.
Killing bad guys might seem counterintuitive if you work for a Hell Lord, but it actually just adds more souls to Balbosia's army. An army Spawn would have to lead in a war with Heaven that'd kill all of humanity.
Because the reason Malbolgia chose Al to be his commander wasn't that he was some great warrior. It was because Al had proven that he was the best at taking orders.
All his life and all his death, Al was nothing more than a hired gun.
But he knew it, and he would do so no more.
So Spawn marched down to Hell and ripped Balbosia's head off. With a scream so loud it echoed through all of reality, Spawn became the king of the 8th circle of hell.
As king, Spawn is literally a part of hell itself, gaining access to an unlimited pool of energy that increases 100-fold with every heartbeat. He's effectively omnipotent in there, and strong enough to challenge other hell lords like Mammon and Satan.
He got so strong, the only thing left was to finally resolve the war between heaven and hell.
But Spawn needed help from the being who created this god and Satan to begin with, the mother of existence, Gaia.
She wasn't cool with her kids being total assholes, so she appointed Spawn to be the universe's savior.
By eating the fruit from the tree of life, Spawn became truly divine, capable of battling God and Satan in a stalemate for eternity that extinguished all life on Earth.
And each of them are powerful enough to create and control infinitely sized universes.
I did not know the lore with Spawn was this deep at all.
Spawn broke the stalemate by letting God and Satan destroy him, only for Gaia to separate the two from the reality they threatened.
Then, just like that time with the Lance, Spawn respawned and recreated the Earth. Poof, good as new.
Finally freed of the weight of heaven and hell, Al asked to be reborn as a human. But he knew in his heart he deserved to carry on his undead penance in perpetuity.
He's a creature of the 90s, Wiz. He won't be happy unless he can angstily brood over the injustice of his own existence.
Though if you threaten the alley he calls home, beware, because Spawn will turn whatever's left of your life into a living hell.
I'm not gonna lie.
This battle is
I'm excited for this.
You know, one of two proud Caesars.
I'm not sponsored. Y'all need to see that. Don't take that as an opportunity to do what they tell you, doing what they tell you to do on them ads. Those ain't my ads. I'm not sponsored. I really should have just switched my camera, switched the scene so you couldn't see it at all. I might just edit it out.
Nights like these drive men insane. Nights like these drive men insane. Brimstone in the air. Something's coming. If it wants a piece of me, there'll be hell to pay.
Akira slide.
Back to the pit you squirmed from, Hellspawn.
Make me.
This soundtrack goes crazy. Hold on.
If you care, it's nothing personal. Vengeance calls.
Okay. Okay.
You fight like a bum.
You've earned your damnation.
Oh.
Welcome to hell.
Okay.
I'll be damned. Yes, you will.
W Mortal Kombat reference. What did I say earlier? Ghost Rider look like he's putting in pain right now.
The vestments of the holy cannot disguise your wickedness. God forbid.
Yeah. Yeah, we... I like the whole endorsed by God part.
Simmons, your sins are innumerable. I am here to wreak vengeance upon your soul. I eat sin for breakfast. Have a taste of your own goddamn medicine.
He lies. He is the Prince of Lies. Wait, I'm an innocent.
The penance of his penance. Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like you said, nothing personal, asshole. KO!
Yeah. I was like, the only way he's gonna be able to beat bruh is if he come out of that if he get into that God endorsed state, whatever they was talking about. Hey. I wish I could have said that earlier so that way it doesn't look like I'm switching sides. Cause I honestly thought Ghost Rider was gonna win this, but I did forget that he had his own version of the penance stare. And I didn't think about Ghost Rider getting a penance stare and then him having to go through all the penance stares that he done gave out. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, he's cooked.
Literally. This was a nail-biter of a battle that pitted Ghost Rider's immeasurable power against Spawn's skill and versatility. Let's break this down into 4 categories.
First up, power. Divine Spawn could match God and Satan, who could create universes. Similar in scale to Ghost Rider's bouts with a lot of the powerhouses in Marvel.
But Zarathos was different. Remember, his power can match that of Mephisto and Galactus, who can threaten all of Marvel's infinite cosmic reality, far greater than any cosmos Spawn has ever affected. Even though Spawn's battled and defeated Satan in more recent comics, implying he's retained a level of power similar to his divine form, he couldn't match Zarathos in power alone.
Ghost Rider may take power, but remember,
Okay.
Johnny actively resists Zarathos' influence, so Spawn may have had time in the fight to learn and adapt to Ghost Rider before he went full Blue Fury.
And Spawn definitely had
That's
the
fair.
edge in skill. He spent decades in military combat and is a master martial artist.
That makes
whereas
sense.
Johnny more so relies on his invincibility.
The ultimate dream power for a stuntman. Even with his crazy powers, Ghost Rider was a lot more direct than Spawn, pretty much entirely focused on attacking the soul.
Which doesn't bode well for his versatility. Spawn can
Right.
stop time, manipulate matter, turn intangible, control minds, warp reality.
Yeah.
The Ghost Rider had a much more limited arsenal by comparison. Spawn had a huge advantage
Yeah, that boy
in this
Spawn put in
category.
pain, bro.
With his invincibility, way greater power, and the ability to scorch your soul to nothing, Ghost Rider could score the win through brute force, right?
Not exactly. The last piece of the puzzle is their resistances. Basically, who was harder to kill. Spawn's constant mainlining of humanity's collective sin and pain meant he could survive attacks on his soul, including the penance stare, just like he resisted a very similar attack from Urizen.
Best of all, remember the time he rewrote reality to undo his own inexistence?
There was nothing the Ghost Rider could do to overpower that. And that time with the lance wasn't planned, it was purely instinctual. He could replicate it any time he wanted, like in his fight with God and Satan.
So how do you put Spawn down for good? Well, you can't. At least Johnny and Zarathos couldn't.
Unlike how Ghost Rider's soul has been vulnerable to attack before, like when Danny used the penance stare to depower Johnny.
This sort of thing actually happens a lot, even in recent comics. The whole reason Johnny and Zarathos are bonded in the first place is because Zarathos' soul was manipulated by Mephisto.
And not only does Spawn have plenty of experience manipulating souls, he can replicate the effect of the penance stare itself.
And just think
Right.
about that. A penance stare on Zarathos would mean he's feeling the pain from every penance stare that he's ever done. A penance squared.
The damnation stare, on the other hand, actively helped Spawn, sending him to hell where he gets a literal infinite power boost.
And it wasn't just
Yeah.
Spawn's soul powers that had spelled trouble. He had other ways to bypass Ghost Rider's immortality too, like transmutation, rewriting reality, or just straight up stealing his powers, which has worked on multiple Ghost Riders in the past.
Giving Spawn the final edge. Zarathos was
Yeah.
almost unbeatable, a massive
Okay, so let's look at this. Okay, so Ghost Rider was far stronger and they matched in speed, but Spawn was more versatile, can regenerate from anything that Ghost Rider does. It has multiple ways to bypass Ghost Rider's immortality. Hey man, Spawn who?
Power advantage, soul destruction, immortality, but Spawn could counter everything thrown at him and was too unkillable for Zarathos' strength advantage to matter in the long run against his crazier abilities.
That was one hell of a fight, and at least Johnny went out in a blaze of glory.
The winner is Spawn.
Next time on Death Battle.
Hey, y'all let me know if y'all messing with these, man. If y'all want more of this, we can keep on doing it. We can do more. And I know y'all seen that other death battle on this side over here. Speaking of more specifically Kratos, go ahead and head over to the main channel. We playing God of War over there. You know what I'm saying? Come to the streams. Like we are at the time we releasing this video, we are playing God of War right now. We're playing the 2018 version. You know what I'm saying? Video should be coming out relatively soon with that on the main channel. So go ahead and check that out. Everything's gonna be in the description. My main channel as well as all of my socials. If you made it this far in this video, go ahead and leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel for more, and go check the description. You know what I'm saying? If you like the stuff that I'm putting out over here, go ahead and check out the main channel side of things too. You got longer form content. I'm not gonna say better because that's just your opinion. That's up to your opinion. But you know what I'm saying? It's his own vibe over there. You know what I'm saying? We doing a whole bunch of gaming and all types of stuff over there. So, you know what I'm saying? Go check me out, bro. But with all that being said, I love y'all. And I'm going to catch y'all in the next vid. Be safe, man.